What's good, everybody? Welcome back to L Dubs Boxing. In this video, I'm going to preview a fight card that's going down Friday, February the 15th on ESPN. You got Brant defending his WBA regular title for the first time. Then you also have Joshua Greer Jr. on the undercard as a co-main. And you have Michaela Mayer, one of the best female fighters right now. So it's a bunch of fighters on the card I'm going to touch on and let you guys know what's going on, what's happening. So you got Brant, 24-1 with 16 KOs. He's coming off an upset win over Marauder for the WBA regular title at middleweight. He put on a great performance. He was letting his hands go. He threw over 1,200 punches that fight, and he was very active. So he's fighting at home. He's from Minnesota, so he probably had most of his fights in Minnesota, so he's coming back home and to defend his title for the first time. He's fighting Bason Jirov. Bason Jirov is a young fighter, 17-0 with 7 KOs. He has a good boxing pedigree. He's a tall fighter. He's a taller fighter in this fight. His uncle used to be world champion in 154, and his dad is his trainer. So boxing is in his family. So he can fight. He can fight a little bit. So this should be a good fight for Brant, first title defense, and we'll see how that goes. The co-main event, you have Joshua Greer Jr., Mr. Good Night. You know what I'm saying? He be bringing the pillow to the ring. Very entertaining fighter. Very strong. He fights at 118 pounds. He's defending his WBC Continentals of America's belt. He's just a exciting fighter. He been on the road. He had like 5 or 6 knockouts in a row. He only had 1 loss. He's 19-1 with 11 KOs. So he's looking to put on a big performance. His last fight, he was very sharp. He kind of fight in the mold of them Midwestern fighters like Adrian Broner and Robert Easter with the shoulder roll. But the thing with him, he actually let his hands go. So we'll see what happens. He facing Giovanni Escaner, something like that. He's out of the Philippines. So he looking to put on a show, man. He always excites. So I'm expecting nothing less from him. Then you also have on the card Michaela Mayer, one of the best women's fighters right now. Very marketable. I think she's the only woman signed with Top Rank. She's fighting at 130 pounds. She has the NABF title at that weight. Very good fighter. Tall, has a good jab, have a good right hand. Very fundamental. She do a lot of things right. She has a very good defense as well. So she's fighting she kind of stepping up in competition. She's fighting a young lady from Mexico. Her last name is Larios. She's 13-1 with 1 draw. Not much power to speak of, but this should be an entertaining fight. Larios is a young fighter. I believe she's 20 years old. She's very scrappy. She likes to fight. She's gonna come to fight. So this should be a good test for Mayer. She should be able to put on a good performance in this fight right here. So I'm looking forward to see her fight. Also, you have a 50-50 type fight. A very underrated type of fight that's on this card. You have super middleweights, Derek Webster, 28-1, 14 KOs versus Lennox Allen, 21-0 with 14 KOs. Now, you got 2 southpaws. Webster, he's 6'4". He's very tall for the division. Long arms, like the bang, throw a lot of strong punches. Lennox Allen, he's another good puncher, southpaw. So this is a 50-50 fight right here. Hopefully with a good performance. Both of these guys is ranked in the top 15 in the WBA rankings at super middleweight. So hopefully with a good performance, these guys can get a title shot down the road. So we'll see. Then we'll talk about some prospects that's on the card. You have Steve Nelson, light heavyweight. He's 12-0 with 10 KOs. He's trained by Bo Mack. He's in Bud Crawford's stable. Y'all probably remember seeing him around. He's a good light heavyweight prospect. He got a little bit of skill, so we'll see what he do. Let me see. You have another young fighter. His name is Tyler Howard. He's 16-0 with 11 KOs. He's a middleweight. He fights out of Tennessee. He can fight. He can bang. Very good power. Very strong guy. So, Top Rank always put on a lot of prospects on the undercard. As you all know, the undercard will be shown on ESPN Plus, and then the main card will start on ESPN at 9 o'clock on Friday, February the 15th. And Mikael Mailer will open up that card. Then you got a triple hitter on ESPN. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to some fireworks. Should be some good fights. Brent should be able to put on for his hometown. He'll be making his first defense of his WBA regular title. And it's a lot of things to do with the middleweight division. So we'll see how he looks. That's my video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back with another one.